here. We just had a 7.1 earthquake in Japan and a couple other quakes already since. And we're just going to kind of start off here with this video while people are coming to the live stream. Howdy. Breaking news, Japan just had 7.1. Sure you saw the title. Thank World of Signs. Go over there, give them a thumbs up. About 30 minutes ago, 7.2 magnitude hit Japan, South Korea. Alright. Alright, let me pause that for a second. Go ahead, pause. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back. Let me get you on over here to the earthquake map. We got a little breaking story. We just did an earthquake report not too long ago. It was very, very quiet, eerily quiet in this region. Okay, we've had a lot of activity over in Southern California, but we've also had a lot of pressure in this region building and heat anomalies building up. Okay, as we back out, it's the southern island here that's kind of detached from the mainland here. Here's where we have our plate boundary going across the island right here. All right, as you come down, almost has a little bend in it right here, not necessarily a full-on fulcrum, but a little bend right here. And then this island here, very narrow little strip right here, water going between it. It is detached from the mainland, but barely. So it is its own little island and offshore right here, right along our weak zone. Here, if we, let me get this a little bit better here. All right, you can see our underwater table top right here. Okay, this structure comes along right here. It's all a plateau, underwater plateau. Okay, and on that, right where saturated dirt is, it's all saturated with water. Is your epicenter right here, 7.1 down at 25. So it's not right at the surface. It's just a tad bit down deeper. And then over here is a 4.8 that just happened. And there was another 6.9 on here. Where did that go? There was another 6.9 on here, and now it's gone. It was in the thumbnail. How come it's gone out? What the heck? No, that wouldn't change it. There was another 6.9 with the tsunami alert right out here. Maybe it was the same quake. It wasn't in the same region. It wasn't at the same depth. It was up here. There was a 6.9 just there a minute ago. Well, anyway, we've had our major 7.1 right here. Big release of energy. Currently had a 4.8. It's a little deeper down there, but we've had pressure in the region right there. Let me go ahead and pull up this map real quick, and we'll take a peek at the null skull real quick here. And we'll bring up the surface temperature anomalies. Yep, there we go. And we don't need wind or anything. I want to come over to that region. Look at all the yellow in the surrounding area. And then right here at our quake region, let me get this just right on. That's good. Right here at our quake region, it's actually kind of red, a little lower in temperature out of that region right there. So now right here is where we've had our quake. Come back over here to the quakes now. All right, bingo, right along this shelf right here. And very interesting. Where's this? It's not even on this anymore. Huh, because there was a 6.9. They took it off the map. Interesting, because I had it on the thumbnail. Well, maybe it's... We'll see. But what it was starting to look like is we had a 7.2, a 6.9 right here, and then this one, and it was starting to look like we might be seeing a little quake swarm activity going on here. And we're just going to kind of leave this for a second. I want to see what other activity we got in that area. These islands that... I want to check SO2 emissions out of that region as well. See, no SO2 emissions from this region. And also, I want to point out here, let's go back to the ocean currents, or this one, please. Thank you. And that's right now. Yes, thank you. We had our quake right here, and it's not too far away from our fulcrum point here at Taiwan. Okay, we've had pressure growing in this region. This has been locked up lately, and we haven't seen many quakes out of it. And we were talking earlier tonight, we need to see more quake activity out here. We're having SO2 emissions out of here. And how quiet it's been in this entire region, all throughout the whole system. This was the only quake. All the way over to here. There was no quakes except for that one and our normal activity over here. So pressure in that whole region right there popped right in the middle. I want to know what happened to that 6.9 that was on there. Because it had a tsunami warning on it too. It had a NOAA tsunami thing on it. I was clicking on it, checking it out. And that's why I wanted to access that quake so I could click on it and check it out for you guys. But it appears to have gone off the map. Anyways, over here, World of Signs, come over, give them some love. They posted this really quick just 30 minutes ago. 7.2 magnitude hits Japan and South Korea. So the surrounding region, all right, this whole area probably got shaken. Even Japan, they probably had some damage up here in the city because they're still pretty close. South Korea, even North Korea probably felt it, okay? So we've had a larger magnitude, 7.1 quake, with another, apparently maybe it was just a second reading from a different monitor or whatever, and they decided to take it off the map. But what I want to do now is come over here, because we were talking about this earlier, and all the quake swarming that was going on here, and there we go. Okay. So all of our activity that was going on over here and current activity with red ones at 2.3 and little 1.6s and stuff, this was releasing a lot of energy in the area and has been like the new weak spot. Well, now we've had this pop off. We got a new weak spot, okay? And usually with a good sized quake like this will be a new path of least resistance, a new quake zone that we'll watch. It's right off the plate boundary. We could have plate boundary quakes right in this region too. Okay, but this will be a new weak spot and a new path of least resistance to watch in the future. And the way it was starting to blossom here, we were starting to see more quakes. I thought we were going to be actually live monitor a little quake swarm here. But meanwhile, that region right there still has red. It's not in yellow or anything, but probably relieve some pressure in that area. Tomorrow we might see some of this mellow out, or if this activity continues, we could possibly see new openings or whatever. Okay, it's a new path of least resistance, so it's hard to tell what's going to happen here. Did it just snap once? Is it going to leave one quake and no quake swarm? Because here is a bigger quake. We were talking earlier how the other side over here, all of these are the aftermath of a 5. All of this is the aftermath from a 5. Here, let's even do, because that's just one day. Let's do 7-day all magnitude in that area. Oh, now we're talking. Here, take that down. Okay, you see all these orange ones and stuff and yellow ones as well? See, that's a lot of energy being relieved in that area right there. So, all of this because of a 5. If this isn't a quake swarm and we get that much activity out of that many natural aftershocks after a 5, no telling what we're going to get out of that 7. But I don't think we'll see this kind of activity out of this 7 over here. Come on, I should just pull back. Come on now. Oh, look, we have a second quake now. So that was our 4.8 down at 38. Now we have another one here, a 4.6 down at 42. So now we are starting to see some activity in our aftershocks, our mid-range 4. Okay. Something else we need to talk about too. If this has indeed opened up a path of least resistance, a new avenue or a new weak spot, this could be a foreshock of a bigger quake as well. All right. Something else I want to talk about too. You see the structure, how this comes up, this whole peninsula comes up like this. All right, this whole straight structure. Then you look down underneath the water and you see this diamond shape, or not diamond shape, but triangle type shape structure right here on the ocean floor. See this little mountain ridge coming down here? It's got volcanic seamounts running along it. Okay, it's like a spine. See how this is like a spine running up here? Well, this is a spine running this way, and it curves. It curves, it goes right in there. You can even see this deep little bay. This is almost like a fulcrum point type structure that we see up at Alaska, in that fulcrum in the bay there. Okay, you see how pressure has come up, carved out this. This is the plate boundary going right through there. See, energy wants to go in a straight line. It doesn't want to turn, and this is forcing it to curve. You got kind of a fulcrum point here, another one kind of here. So this curve right here has 3 little avenues of pressure. And this one seems to be our new path of least resistance right here. Hopefully this is the big quake with the 7.1, and we'll see a series of aftershocks. I wouldn't mind seeing a bunch of mid-range fours come out of here because that would relieve a lot of the pressure in that region. Let's come back over here. If we had, okay, the 7, and then we have another quake swarm, say like over in Southern California, we could see all of this yellow, reduce around here, even over on this side. If it shook over here, it could release pressure. And, well, I need my use of my hand back. We could see, relief of pressure in that circular zone. Some of this yellow could diminish, all right? That would help. When some of that diminishes, cold water could come rushing in, and we could see cold water inundation in that area. Also, when we put these winds on here, and you see how they correlate with the heat signatures, right? This earthquake could change heat signatures and could change weather patterns. If we had a cold water pocket form here, it could suck this storm in too. No telling what's going to happen here, but that's a pretty good sized quake. A lot of pressure released right there. The resulting aftershocks and quake swarms should relieve a lot of pressure in this area. And meanwhile, even though they just had a 7.1, they got this thing bearing down on them too. Let's come on over really quick. I want to check this thing out. Let's go at 850. Okay, it's grown in intensity. It's got an eye. It's very definitely typhoon forming right there. And that looks like it could curl around and hit maybe this part of the island. We'll see. So pray for the people of Japan. They just had 7.1, 7.2 magnitude quake right there. All right. And they're having a little series of aftershocks. Let me switch back over. I was wondering where that 6.9 went that was right here. All right, let's go back to 1 day, all magnitude, just to keep things at our current time. All right, and two different current aftershocks in red right now. What else? Really quick, just to show some of you guys really quick some of what's going on here, what a 7.2 looks like. People scurrying. All right. I think the rest of this is like the mall. Just basically people rattled and stuff. Well, it's strange. They took the 6.9 off, upgrade to 7.1, but they were two different locations at two different depths. That's what kind of just, if it was just a tad bit closer and at the same depth, I could go, yep, it was the same reading. But I guess that's what happens. We got a European agency with a different, who knows? All I do. But I like that comment, though, in the chat. That was a good comment. Where'd my chat go? They took the 6.9 off and upgraded to 7.1. Lizard Hunters here. It's tsunami after big quake. Well, yeah, that's why I wanted to click on that 6.9 because it had the tsunami alert. And why would you take down the tsunami alert? That's why I should have just screenshotted it and made that my thumbnail. Ooh, kicking myself. But it was on there. And it had a tsunami alert. But how is there no damage? I call BS. Alaska roads cracked with a 7. There'll be damage. This is just fresh. We're just seeing it just happened about 35 40 minutes ago, right after the end of the show. I went outside, said a prayer. Thank you, Lord, for helping me with the show. And attending to some of the critters in the garden. And I get a little spidey sense. Oh, tingling. I come back in, just kind of looking around, and sure enough, look what happens here. 7.1. Where's their... This is all the... That's not what I wanted. Take that off, please. 7.1. See, they don't have the tsunami alert on here, and I can't get any information on these either. This kind of just showing the region affected. That's not what I wanted. And this won't have it either. Did you feel it? Oh, I know. We can go over to the tsunami buoy system. What's it called? National Buoy System. Ow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come over here and take a little peek at our buoys, shall we? Please, Lord, let this page work, please. Okay, here we go. I know. I want that map back to the size it was. Well, well, well. Our epicenter right here, closest buoy. Right here. Can we zoom in on that? Please, Lord. All right. You can see just a slight little red line in there. We had our regular motion right here. So, well, it's not much, but we do have a buoy detecting something. Okay. So we'll leave that there. Ow. Sorry. So we'll leave that going for the moment here. Can we have my mouse back? Thank you. I want to zoom back out. All right, so that one's not working. The nearest one is this one in event mode. The next ones would be over here, I would assume, on the other side of the island right there. If anything were traveling, well, it's out here in the water. I doubt if much is going to travel backwards through the island, so you might not see those go off. Those are all good. So probably next one would be this one, or either one of these two go into event mode here. We'll know that we definitely have a tsunami, maybe even up here. Okay. So in the meantime, we do have one. Doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. It's not much. But we'll continue to monitor this. Let's come back to the quakes here. I want to close this out. Okay, nothing new for the moment. Um, Okay, so SO2 emissions in this area are indications of pressure also. Okay, so we have the Southern Korean Peninsula pumping out a fair amount, a dark little spot right there, SO2. Okay, now notice here at our island, there are no SO2 emissions. Okay, very, very quiet as far as SO2 emissions from this point right here. Okay, so pressure's built up. It hasn't had a perforation in order to vent. So we get pressure building up in the region. Okay, up in here, turning yellow. Red is also hot too. See right here. It's not yellow and white, but it's also an indication that, there's a lot of pressure in that region. And like I was saying here on our earthquake map, just a little bit further south here is our fulcrum point, and it's been locked up. We've seen quakes down here a little bit further south, relieving energy in this region. But when this is locked up and this isn't doing the job, it backs up. We had this activity down here relieve pressure in this region, quake activity relieving pressure in that region, locked up. Bingo. Next thing down the line, you see this little ridge line. This also is an indication of volcanic. Get out of there, you. Pressure likes to follow this line and create little seamounts. Okay, and you'll see that some of these ridges correspond with the plate boundaries, the shape of them. Okay, this was probably an old, you can see this old volcanic ridge line. This is an old one too. And right up at the tip of it, bingo. We might want to watch the other end of it down here too. This, okay, we got plate kind of comes in an angle, does a 90-degree here, and then we got a fulcrum point. This isn't really doing it justice. You can see it more topography this way right here. So we have a fulcrum point right there, and then another one right here. You can possibly see every once in a while we get one. Oh, at this one right here. But I'm talking the end of this ridge. Pressure following this little, like its own plate boundary. You see how this one bubbles out? This would be like its own little one or little weak structure underwater. So at the other end down here, we could possibly see a little response. Maybe not the same magnitude, but you could possibly see a little response down at this end. Or we might finally see activity. This relieve pressure, this can shift and now unlock, and we could possibly see Taiwan come to life, or even activity over here. Let me go back to this. You see where the thing's the hottest over here? It is a lot of heat coming out. There's a lot of pressure there. It is being relieved, but I could just see something maybe hopping back over here on that side. We also have to watch this region up here as well off of Fukushima. Like I said, any kind of little shift. Again, like we were talking last night, if you've ever boiled an egg and overcooked it, it will explode from the inside out, cracking the shell from the inside out. I want you to picture the earth as an overcooked egg with an already cracked shell. Somebody cracked the shell a long time ago, and these are the cracks in the shell of the egg, all right? Those are your plate boundaries. The crust of the earth is like the shell of an egg. And all of these cracks are cracks in the shell, all weak spots, all right? So when pressure builds, it pushes up from underneath, say, this three-way point, it wants to blossom and split it up this way. Well, at a three-way junction, the weak spot's going to be where all they come together. That's where it wants to pop up. Let's see if I can do it with my hands and come at the screen and blossom out towards you. Well, all these cracks want to split and stuff wants to come gushing up out of them. And when it can't, it'll at least rattle the place and give it an earthquake and relieve pressure that way. But significant quake, 7.1, Japan, at a depth of 25. It shook a lot of stuff. All right, there's probably some decent damage. Let's go back. We did have one buoy in event mode. Let me go back just a tad bit here. See if we can go. Please. Scroll out. Pull it over. All right. Just gonna see anything else blinking. Okay, so if we had anything else blinking, we could count this one out. It might be an anomaly. But that's the only thing blinking on the map. So we do, the quake itself could have shaken the buoy and caused it to, trigger. So until we get an official report, there is no tsunami. And from a 7.1 at that depth, I would say your tsunami, if it did generate one, would probably be maybe 2 to 3 feet high. It wouldn't be very high. It wouldn't be a big devastating one. Maybe to the closest nearest island, maybe over here or this one. But otherwise, look, the positioning of this place, it would propagate out in a circular fashion out across the Pacific. So the next few places, would be all these little islands. And until then, we just don't know. And what kind of disappointing is they took that 6.9 down that had a tsunami alert on it, upgraded it from 6.9 to 7.1, and then no tsunami alert. You remember the last few times when they've done this, they took a tsunami alert down and one hit, and everybody went, wait, I thought there wasn't one coming, and it hit anyways, and it threw people off. The trust you can put into your systems right now, right? Your 4.9s and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if they detected one and then kept it quiet and just went like, oh, we had no idea, and play dumb. Plausible deniability. You guys really need to understand the art form of plausible deniability and how it's used to manipulate you and get you to fall in line. Okay. Watch out for Taiwan. It hasn't had a quake in a while. It's got some pressure in the area. Even our spot down here, our other weak spot, please, Lord, have that back. Another region to watch. This is relieving pressure in the area. Okay, so it probably take over, but there is the possibility weak spots here, fulcrum point here. Look how quiet it's been in this region. So, major activity really kind of quieted this down now. All right, this has all kind of come to a little halt. And now our activity is mainly over on that side. Let me just kind of show you real quick for a couple people who just got here. And you look at the shaking right here. It's not super violent. You know, you see stuff on the ceiling shaking, but the roofs aren't collapsing. You see the little TVs on the ceiling there? I've seen them shake all the way to the ceiling, back and forth, really hard. They're not shaking too hard, so 7.1, probably just about right. Long duration though. Look how long this quake lasts. As if the first little bit of shaking doesn't get your heart going, but then it keeps going and going and going. Okay, we were at 1:09 when that cut, so it was shaking from the very moment we started to 1:09, so it's at least 1:10 long. Here's another shot. Okay, you can see by the swaying of the clothes, you get a good feel for how much the floor is moving back and forth to shake those. So, pretty decent movement. Probably a lot of structures with, you know, cracks and foundations, broken glass. But you don't see any of this glass cracking in here, none of the windows breaking. It's just stuff swaying back and forth. Okay, so it affected South Korea too. I also want to come back over here really quick just to check. Okay, it's too bad that we don't have this one operational. Cool. Our next one should be this one or this one, maybe even up here, if it's strong enough to continue propagate a tsunami out that far. All right, that's your quake there. There's your pressure in the area. Okay, Taiwan being locked up. Everything in the area being yellow except right here where there hasn't been a big, you know, bunch of yellow coming out, a bunch of pressure there. So that could have backed up right there. And then we change over to SO2 real quick, just one more time while we got people here. No, chemical SO2. Also, we're talking Japan has its issues, SO2 emissions at its volcanic sites right through here, right? But look here, where a quake was. No SO2 emissions here. Very quiet. So pressure can build up. There's no perforation in the crust relieving pressure here. There's, you know, heat plumes and pressure building in the area, but not enough being released right there. So it was kind of a prime little spot for a quake. And with good reason to continue watching it because we have all these quakes from a 5. How many are we going to get out of this? Here's a new quake. No, same one. 4.6. No, we can't get all magnitudes from them. So, all right, that's it for right now. I don't do Twitter, X, Facebook, any of that stuff at all. So if you guys want to go scour those guys to see if there's already tsunami footage. Let's talk about something else here. It happened off the coast, so this area right here would be first affected. And let's just kind of go into this area really quick. What's here? Just a small little neighborhood, little road that runs along the ocean here. This little bay, it would come gather in that bay, shoot up a little higher there. This community would be affected right there. You see how this bay is shaped? It would come push right up into that. So those areas would be affected at first, if there was one, would be this coastal area first. The other one, 6.9, was kind of located more out this way and at a shallower depth. But been taken down, moved over here, upgraded to 7.1. However that works is how it works. But look at right here. Here's your quake. If it hit a tsunami, it would, come along, it would clip this and then go right into this area. All right, a big surge of water would push upstream, would push up through all of that. Ow, I know. Stab me in the hand for it. Right here. No. Right there. No, it's right here. Street. Miyazaki would be one of the places to go look for, any kind of posts coming out of there. Hey, we just got hit with the tsunami. Some of the cities that would be affected most directly would be this one right here, coast right here. Even inland, these bigger cities right here. This one probably most affected right there. Miyazaki. And then we'll go back to satellite. Let me close that out. Okay, and water would, depending on the height of the tsunami, if it was 3 feet, it would probably only reach up to this high or something, then wash back out. If it was a, big 20-footer, it'd reach all the way up into here and flood this area too. So everybody in this area probably already thoroughly shaken and would be first to absorb any kind of tsunami. You got to remember, propagates out circularly, like in a curve. So this curvature right here might actually form a wave that would lessen and just keep curving. This point almost divert water for a second and then make it do the same little curvature as this blue line. So your tsunami would come sideways along that instead of push right in. See what I'm saying? If the quake were out here, it would push straight in and up. But the quake's down here, propagates out in a circular fashion, just like this arc right here. The tip of that could throw the wave. And this whole hillside right here, that's all kind of unpopulated. You see all these. Look at this. You see this mountain ridge that runs here and all these little valleys that wash down here? This erosion looks like it's caused from a previous tsunami. It's a fast water erosion event. That's not over long periods of time. That was one event that washed up to here and then went all down probably from an event right here. It sure looks like it. And the way this is shaped, probably had one out here too. But thankfully, the curvature of that could divert any kind of tsunami. So you see it if it did curve, it would go right to that one, and that's the one that's reacting. Also, let's get a fresh data on that. See, the difference is hardly anything. So we'll see. This green line would be your regular wave. This right here going back up. See, it's just following its pattern. So this green part would just be its pattern going back up. The red part is the deviation. And that looks just, it's so small, it looks like it maybe just shook the ocean floor, rattled the actual buoy mount itself. But we'll see as we get close, as time goes on, that wave will propagate out further. And if we see any of these other working surrounding buoys start to flash, that's when we'll know. Okay, so there's that. One more time over this. You have some good friends in there down the south tip on the west side of the island, I believe. Oh, give them a call. Well, their lines might be down, Tristan, so you might not be able to give them a call, but you should check. Most definitely, Michelle, sending love, intuition, better devices. Oops, sorry. Just kind of reading some of the comments in the chat real quick. Intuition is better. You know what we can do? We can come back over here, pull back. And I don't see any latest quake activity. So a 5 sets off 300 quakes over here. Meanwhile, we've only had 2 aftershocks after a 7. Okay. What else? I wanted to just kind of thank you guys for being here. Just say Michelle, thank you. Angel Wings, thank you. Was watching Judge Sesame, turned off the chat, kind of ruined it for me. Yeah, that's okay. You can come here and chat. Feel rebirth coming? Yeah, very much. Isn't there normally a tsunami after that big of a quake? I love that comment because that's where we went looking tsunami hunting. Lizard Hunter, thank you. Angel Wings, thank you. No malarkey. Joe Biden, is that you? No, I like the name. No malarkey. That's weird. But how is there no damage? I call BS. Alaska roads cracked with the 7. Yep. Alaska roads cracked with the 7. That was a 7.0 that hit Anchorage, Alaska. The Anchorage 7.0. Swear, there's just signs all over the place if you know what to look for. And here we go. Pretty good sized quake. I was expecting a lot more out of it than this. There should have been a couple more aftershocks already. But interesting, this topographical shape, ocean floor right there, that little pinnacle point is very, very similar to this over here. To this structure right here, which causes a plate boundary, causes fulcrum points to shove inland. Okay, that kind of structure causes fulcrum points to shove inland. Here's a fulcrum point type structure shoving inland, that spine. What else is kind of interesting around here? You know what? I'm going to keep it going so you guys can chat away if you want. I think they are a little insulated from the earthquake activity, but at least it's pun action, but I don't know. Tristan, I like your thinking. I have some good friends in Japan. Angel Wings, Michelle, Deborah Reese. Thank you for being here. Oh, we got some. Saved by Faith in Christ. Thank you for being here. No malarkey. Yeah, definitely no malarkey here. Try to be malarkey free. Look out here. You see this little seamount and these little rows right here? There's a little row right there. You know what? We got another fulcrum point right here, too. If pressure came up and triggered a 7.1 and just a couple aftershocks, there could be residual pressure. This whole plate may have moved a little bit, and your nearest fulcrum point might be next, or nearest volcano could erupt. I'd watch out for an eruption out of that volcano, an earthquake at this fulcrum point, or where else? Or that fulcrum point as well, or Taiwan. Okay, I'm not trying to predict stuff. We don't really try to predict stuff here. We understand how things work here. And then when stuff like this happens, it's no surprise. Okay, we're looking at how quiet this region was earlier today. No fulcrum points. What? 4.2 at the surface, 4.5, 188. Yeah, we already checked that one out earlier. And now all of a sudden, it's gone quiet. I'll just get a refresh real quick in case. Something else we could check really quick. 1 day US. Oh, magnitude. There we go. Okay, so we still have some kind of current activity. Little red dots right here. But almost at the fulcrum. They're just microquakes. I'm just looking for current activity. Ooh, shit. Here we go. Current activity is 1.8 Diablo, California. Anybody speak Spanish? You know what Diablo means? Alum Rock, California. See, we're starting to have current activity in the Bay Area there, and current activity at our site here. You see the two red ones. That's what I mean by current. Oh, we just had a new one pop on there, 2.6. Okay, so this area still has current activity, even though its quake was days ago, where we just have a 7.1 on the other side. And no thing. Fire. Diablo means devil. Yes. El Diablo. Fuego is fire. Diablo is the devil. And usually, like I was saying, Anchorage, Alaska, 7.0 and Anchorage, and then we have 1.8 devil. The devil's in California. Uh-oh. Well, I'd get out of there. I'm just kind of stalling for a sec to see if we get something else over here. I mean, usually a big quake like this will trigger, your aftershocks will be kind of at a pace, or some kind of, 10 minute, every 5 minutes, every half an hour. So I'm kind of stalling to see if we'll get anything out of that. One more time here. Not that one. over here. Yeah, so not much really showing up. I'm going to take that one down though. Intro. Showing 2 hurricanes, by the way, too. I wonder what they're going to do with this storm out here by Japan. Because they had a big storm bearing down on them, too. Just looking at this map a little bit, something I want to point out. Somebody better get on it and start getting these buoys working. I don't, what quit spending so much money on war and weapons and killing people and get these buoys working. This is ridiculous. Look at all these buoys in red. How much money do we give this agency? And they just kind of, yeah. Oh, what good is it going to have all these buoys? What kind of alert? You're going to have 10-second alert right here, right? No, we need stuff in functional places where out here. Because when we get a 9.0 out here, we need to know right away. Sorry, you can hear my frustration. It's just, I know where the money goes. I know what they do with it. I see stuff like this that should be in much better shape. All this is unforgivable. Look at all that. All unused. All stations with no data. They're just kind of useless. Especially in this day and age when at any point, anywhere on the planet, we could have something like this go off and we need that data. Meantime, we'd have to wait for it to get out here. Meanwhile, 1,000 people are died here. It's moving across this region, about to wipe out islands, and nobody knows. And yet, there could have been detection. Sometimes it frustrates me where we focus our energies and our money and resources when there are flaws and things that need to be fixed. All right, I think that might be it for right now. It was just going to be kind of a little Quake Swarm live stream, if that was the case. Just shows they never cared about the people. They are in event mode because the seafood has dropped 30 meters all along the Craton. The seafloor dropped 30 meters along the Craton. If the seafloor dropped 30 meters anywhere, it would do devastation. If it did 30 meters over 30 years, okay. Sorry, I haven't eaten in a couple days. So. All right, I might have to wrap it up. All right, so there's your breaking headlines right after we wrapped up this live stream. 7.1. Information on this event is currently under review and will be available soon. Estimated population exposure. No. Well, 311,000 in this city right here, Mizakazi or whatever. That's the one we need to focus on. So 300,011 people got rattled. These two as well. That affected a lot of people in Japan there. All right, I guess that's going to be it for now until we find out anymore. And probably it for tonight, anyways, because I got all kinds of critters to attend to, including critters like you guys to attend to. Well, all right, so current activity just still over here in uh, Southern California. A few little mouse farts in the North Bay, but that's it after that quake. It seems to have stopped after that. So good, good release of energy. No major quake swarm. Maybe it'll relieve pressure at this fulcrum point or cause this one to shift and relieve some more energy in the area. I think that's it for now. There is your 7.1 magnitude earthquake striking Japan. And so far, just the two aftershocks of 4.8 down at 38, a 4.6 down at 42, resulting from a 7.1 down at 25. All right, everybody, pray for the people of Japan. Pray that there's no tsunami propagating across the Pacific right now. All right. And if we find out any more, if I get any kind of inklings or alerts, I'll let you know. But come over here, World of Signs, give them some love for posting their little video too. All right, that's it for tonight. Love you all. Miss you all. I'll see you soon. Bye.